Hello everyone, my name is Monika Grass and I would like to introduce my neighbors. It's Sabine Wiesmüller from the association. Oh, I don't know how to speak it in English, you will do it later.
I suppose we could say Innovative Data Center.
Okay, Andreas Rabe from the...
No, it's Alexander.
Alexander Rabe.
My pleasure.
From the ECO Association, and Stein Grove from the Dutch Data Center Association.
Correct.
And I would like that all the speakers introduce themselves, and you have to start. Unfortunately, your slides are in the cloud, and the cloud is everywhere, but not here. That's, unfortunately, he speaks without slides.
Yes, a very warm welcome and thank you for the invitation. My name is Alexander Rabe. As already mentioned, I'm the managing director of ECO, the Association of the Internet Industry. And
the next one was ECO.
For a few seconds, it seemed that there is a presentation, but there is the presentation actually. So it's my pleasure now to introduce you, our association, and our new alliance for strengthening digital infrastructure in Germany. Because the cloud, you mentioned already, is not somewhere. Actually, we have data centers. We have a lot of people here today. We will discuss about what it means to have data centers, and all these data centers connected to each other. They are the cloud. But first of all, I want to introduce you to ECO. We are actually the largest European association of the internet industry. We represent, meanwhile, over 1,000 members, and we are working now for shaping the future of the internet since over 20 years. As I mentioned, we started yesterday with a lot of big players in the data center area, the Alliance for Strengthening Digital Infrastructure in Germany. What is it for? Actually, we want to make the German politics, first of all, aware of the fact that the cloud is not everywhere, that the cloud is hosted by a lot of companies which are placed in Germany, a lot of companies placed in Frankfurt, actually, and that it's pretty important to support these companies in their work. Because if we talk about digital sovereignty, for example, for IT security, data privacy, it makes sense to talk to the companies who are managing the cloud, for example. And it seems to be very easy, but the German politics, they are not quite deep into that topic. So digital infrastructure is for them broadband. That is important too, no problem. But the fact that they're data center, co-location, that they're cloud infrastructure companies, this is actually for them not so easy to understand. But they should, because if you just have a look on the numbers you maybe can read, you will see that we have in Germany about 50,000 data centers, depends on the size. And actually, it will be even more, because if we talk about digitalization, then we talk about hosting data. And the more we digitalize, the more we need these data centers. And that makes a lot of need in taking energy, and energy actually costs money. And this makes some competition in the European market, in the international market. And if we want to strengthen digital infrastructure in Germany, we need to act now to support these companies. Now we have some thesis why it makes sense, and we said, okay, the nucleus of digital transformation actually, they are data centers. And these data centers, they have a lot of impact of the economy growth in Germany, actually for small, medium-sized companies. So we need the support of the politics, and we need some better competition frameworks. And we want to research also energy efficiency in this area, because we know that we need a lot of money, need a lot of energy, and we are quite good already in that. The members of our alliance, here you can see the names: Equinix, eShelter, Interaction, Telehouse, DKIX. You know them all, I guess, here in this area, and we are pretty happy that they support us in this initiative. If you want to be a member, you can contact me later. This kind of presentation is not the one I planned to show you, but I think the main topics, they are presented already here, and that was my little introduction, so I hand it over now to
Stein.
To you. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, the next one will be Stein from the Dutch Data Center Association. And
I have slides, but first of all, thank you for attending. My name is Stijn Grove. I'm the Managing Director of the Dutch Data Center Association. That's the trade association for the data center industry in the Netherlands. We are purely focused on data centers, so hyperscale, co-location, single-tenant data center, but all above 400 square meter white space. We have 32 members representing 110 locations. The biggest one is around 70,000 square meter. The smallest one 400 square meter. So, and we represent, in terms of co-location and hyperscale, around 90% of the data centers in the Netherlands. We represent, I will stand up, I normally do it with presentations. We represent, we are the voice of the industry, we promote the industry. We see that this industry, which is fast growing, relatively new, relatively anonymous, needs a representation. We see challenges with power infrastructure. We see challenges with legislation, education, and sustainability. And these are the 4 areas where we focus on and where we do our work. We do a lot of publications to also raise the knowledge of our industry and so that people know what's going on. If you look at sort of like why we are there, is because, well, we have a digital economy, and this is one of the models that we created, a digital economy model. And the economy is all running on the green layer, which is the digital infrastructure. So that's networks, data centers, cloud hosting companies, and software as a service companies. And because of these sort of like new digital economy, we see a lot of growth. Over the past 7 years, in the Amsterdam area, Amsterdam metro area, we see an average growth of 18%. And actually that's every 4 years we double in size. We actually see that it's accelerating. So our industry, our sector is growing very fast. We have 2 big hyperscale campuses. Netherlands is co-location and hyperscale. Actually last week there was an announcement of a 72 hectares new data center in the area just above Amsterdam, next to the Microsoft data center, which is the largest hyperscale data center outside the US for Microsoft. Another interesting, these figures are from our report that we issued out on Tuesday. 64% of the data centers in the Netherlands reuse their heat. At this moment, the main area is heating their offices, but we have a couple of heat networks already connected. 71% of the data centers is located around Amsterdam area. And what's causing this growth? Of course, public cloud, hybrid cloud, IP traffic, IoT, and if you see the numbers there, it's even bigger. So we see an industry very much growing, but the things it's housing are growing even faster. And that's why we call the Netherlands also a digital gateway to Europe. Just like Frankfurt, Amsterdam, London, these are the hubs in Europe where it all happens. And yeah, our main thing is, of course, connectivity. Just like the DKICs, we have the AM6. They switch who's the biggest every now and then. And a lot of cables come also to the Netherlands. Our reports are downloadable for free, so you can go to our website. And the 2018 report was published yesterday. And together with lots of other reports that we have free to download on our site, we have the last 3.5 years we did around 35 publications.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sabine,
Okay.
that's your turn.
So I have the pleasure to introduce to you the Data Center Association that's called, as translated, Innovative Data Center. So we're not as big as the two associations that were just presented to you, but we rather specialize on bringing together experts from all fields that are related to data centers. So all actors in the market, we're interested in bringing them together and provide to them a neutral platform. So what we do is we look for experts in, for example, cooling, electro solutions, planners, but also operators of data centers, and we bring them together in quarterly meetings where we really engage in networking and also further training activities that we do together, or also workshops where we invite key speakers and keynotes from various topics. For example, our next dialogue, as we call the Constructive Dialogue, we will have in October, close to the Data Center Day in Würzburg, and then in December we will be at the University of Bochum, where we have artificial intelligence as one of our key topics. So as you see, one of the fields where we are engaging is to say, okay, we bring together our members, which by now are around 70 companies that are well known here for everyone who's working in data center industry. So I would like to invite you to have a look at our webpage, which is www.virz.de. There you can see all the members that allowed us to put their logo on our website. But obviously for the new regulations that we have regarding data security, I can't tell you each and every one of them. And the other side, or the other aspect we're working on, is developing further training for our members. So we're offering already certificates in the field of data center management, but we're also working on a master's degree, which we are hoping to introduce to the market in 2020 with the University of Deckendorf for Applied Sciences. And the third aspect we're working on is a compass, which is like a label, an internal certificate that we want to offer our members to show their excellence in their work with data centers. So as I said, with all the experts we have, for example, cooling, for electro solutions, and for planning, we invite them to work with us on industry-wide standards that we then can include in our label. So as you can see, we're rather a small player still, but we like to disrupt the market a little and see where we can get with that.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we have two associations from Germany, one from outside Germany, and from my feeling is what's with the associations working together? Working the associations in Germany together. I know we have much more data center associations in Germany who say we are working for the data center industry. What is your challenge to work together? Because everyone is speaking to politicians, to everyone, but I think we have the same aim at the end. And are you speaking together, are you working together or not? And because you have different members, sometimes maybe the same, and I think we have to bring the advantages to all of your members.
Definitely. Actually, I think we have most of the same members, all of your members, or all of your members, most of them are part of the ECO Association, and you're completely right. We have the same aim. We have to teach, actually, the politicians in Germany, in Europe, about the significant importance of data centers as the nucleus of the digitalization. And for us, it is pretty important, first of all, to bring together all our different members, because actually they are also competitors. So we are proud that we find a new way to get them together and to speak with one voice in front of the politicians. And you're right, sometimes we have the possibility to answer in front of the politicians in kind of a new law, and then we will work together, probably, definitely. And we need to strengthen that, I guess, because our members, they need us. They need a strong voice, and it's important for the politicians to understand what we are standing for. Nevertheless, it makes sense to have a little slight different connotation in the requests we have. That's fine.
And what are you thinking? For my feeling, we need a European statement, and therefore I'm very happy that we are here from different countries. Are you speaking together? Are you working together until now, or what is the next step in doing? Because we have a European Data Center Association. Okay, we don't not really know what they are doing now, but you are in Dutch, you are in Germany, but I think we have to bring it together.
Yeah, well, I also been a year working for the European Data Center Association, which is still a little bit small, and we have sort of like I left and focused on the Netherlands because yeah, it's only been 3.5, 4 years old. Before you can work together in a European way, you have to sort of like settle in and have a good local organization. We now have we have done that. So from the start, we are already sharing information with ECHO. There is also now another organization in Germany. We work with Monica. We work with Tech UK, France Data Center, the former CEBIT. So there you see them popping up. You see also in Denmark now somebody focusing on data centers. And I think that is needed, but it's a very young industry, and you see that the representation is also very young. But it needs to come together at some point. And the Netherlands and Germany are very near, are very close. So I think Dutch and Deutsch is very similar. So I think it's logical that it starts here.
Okay, and I have another question. I know that the most data center industry are thinking, okay, UK and Ireland is in Europe the mainland of all what in data center industry is the innovation and so on. If you ask me, I say, okay, the innovation is coming from the mainland, but that's every time a challenge and a discussion with people from the islands. Are you speaking with these guys as well? Because I have been in London last week, and I have in London they have not the problem with waste heat. They have, and at this time they don't speak about that, and I think that's one of our challenges for the next years, to think about what we are doing with waste heat in the data center industry, and that's what we have to look for. And therefore I hope you will be also explain this to the politicians, that this is a challenge.
I mean, I completely agree that we do need collaboration. I think silo thinking is not going to help us any further. So I can only speak for us. I mean, we focus on other cooperations with nationwide associations like BRECO, which is for broadband telecommunication, and we work with them together as experts in data center industry for now. And we have cooperations with Switzerland, for example, but I mean, you're right, there's still a lot to do for us.
Okay.
Yes, but maybe let me stress one point. You talked about the European perspective concerning data centers, and that's completely right. But there is no politician actually on the European level who is concerned about this topic. They had one department for data centers, I think 5 or 6 years ago. Right now it's closed. So for them, we are such a growing area of industry, so they don't need to care about us. And this is a big mistake the European right now are doing, because the international comparison is even faster growing. Look at the Asian market, for example, and then you see, okay, we are strong and we are growing, but in international comparison, we need to do something in Europe to be still part of the game. And in the field of cooperation, we have with BRECO, with VRTM now, we make some gigabit symposium, and we want to show the ecosystem. And data centers, they are actually in the middle of this. That means if you talk about broadband internet, if you talk about cloud computing, big data applications, whatever, it's all
part of
at
our
the end,
infrastructure.
you need the data center. You need the infrastructure.
Yes,
and that's
it's
the
part.
point.
It's like street, like everything, like powers, buildings. We need it. It's part of infrastructure.
It's a digital infrastructure, and you have different components you have to keep in mind. And this is actually what we are doing also with the other associations. And we hope someone is listening and will have some current strategy in the future.
Okay.
I think infrastructure becomes more and more important because what we see is a trend towards micro data centers. So more and more companies tend to keep their own data center within their company. So that's why infrastructure, especially in like regions that are further away from metropolitans, is really important. So I can only
I have another
give that
question.
forward to you.
Stein, what you are thinking? What is the next innovation, the next challenge in the data center industry? What you can help for?
That we see in the Netherlands? Or,
yeah.
Well, our biggest challenge is to grow as an industry and still are very anonymous. And I think that anonymous in the minds of politicians. If you look at sort of like the energy transition that we're into right now and the digital transformation, we're seeing the exponential growth. We're seeing that in data centers. The new hyperscale data center just announced last week is twice as big as the previous Microsoft data center. And it's only been since a couple of years that it's there. So we're seeing doubling in size. And that means a lot of tension, especially with the transition and the transformation on the energy grid. And the energy grid is growing in, they plan expansions in 7 or 15 years. We plan expansions in 2 years. So there's a mismatch. If you get a new server from Amazon, it's running in a minute. Yeah. So there is along the way, there is a total mismatch of timelines in investments. And I think that is one of the key challenges, together also with sustainability, and also we still have a telecom law, and this is digital infrastructure. Yep. So we have a platform economy. We need laws that are connected.
Okay, we have only 30 minutes. Yeah. What's your, Alex?
Our new challenges we have to face. Educate specialists who work for us, investing in research, fog computing, edge computing, all the new developments in the area of data center. And we need the framework, especially in Germany, to be still competitive
to other countries.
To other countries, and therefore we need some support from the side of the politicians in Germany and Europe.
Well, as I said, also working on further training for our members and also for the master's degree that we're working on, and bring further collaboration, which I think is the most important part.
Okay, thank you for this discussion. Thank you for coming. If you are interested to listen us more, I will invite you to the 360 DC pavilion in the lodge to have a cup of coffee with us. We go there and you can discuss with us the next thing. You will meet me in this evening with a headline sustainability here, and I hope some of you will come and you are invited. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.